Art Chat is made possible by the support of the Artistics Harmonies Association. Create your next aha experience with us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Art Chat. I'm your host, Linda Riesenberg Fisler. So today we have Julie deBoer with us, and Julie is the founder, the CMO, and the chief artist in residence at Mastrius. And I have some other news coming up about that in a few seconds. But first, I wanted to say welcome to 2024, everyone. You know, as the year begins, I was thinking this is a great podcast to start off with because Julie's going to talk to us about Mastrius and mentoring. And like I said to Julie in the green room, you guys have heard about my mentoring experiences a lot, and hopefully you've laughed about some of those experiences that I've shared. But we'll get into a little bit of that. We'll also talk about Julie, her journey as an artist, because it started out as an artist and how that led to Mastrius. And just real quickly, I wanted to give a shout out to somebody I finally met that says she listens to this podcast all the time. I met her on social media, on Threads, actually. So I'm on Threads, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. So Jean, if you are out there, Jean McLean, if you're out there, hi, thanks for listening, and thanks for telling me you listen. That was such a kick for me. Sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to the universe and not really talking much to real people, but it was nice to meet Jean, even if it was in social media on Threads, and we haven't really met in person yet, but hopefully that can be arranged that we can at some point. It was nice talking with you, and thanks for saying that you listen, and thanks for listening. And if you're not Jean, thanks for listening too. So let's kick off. One more thing I wanted to talk about is Chat, Create, and Cocktails. We will be having one of those coming up in February. I think Annie Strack is going to be joining me. The only thing that will delay that is my knee surgery, if and when that comes up. But I probably will just hand the reins off to Anne and let her have fun with it in the February timeframe. That'll be our 1 year anniversary. So hopefully you guys can tune in and join us for that. Check out in the future at Artistonish magazine. It's an online magazine. I actually got a painting in for that magazine for December issue. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll post links out on my social media. And the last thing that I've been doing, surprise, surprise, Julie's asked me to become a Mastrius mentor. So I've been onboarding with that, going through lesson plans, not really lesson plans. We'll talk about mentoring here in a little bit, but just kind of getting my mind around what it is I'd like to bring to a group of artists. So Julie, welcome. Sorry for the rambling, but welcome. It's great to have you here. And I have been so excited about joining Mastrius and getting on board with that. You guys are awesome. You really are. I don't have any other words. I mean, everything, all of the paperwork that came through up front, everything has been so organized. Julie has a great team around her, and we're going to talk more about the company in a minute, but I want to hear about your art journey. This is really actually the first time I'm going to hear about Julie's art journey. We talked about business stuff before, but now I want to hear about your art journey first.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. And thanks for having me. I appreciate this and your warm welcome. Thanks. Yeah, so my art journey, I'm about 14 years in as a painter. I was raised by a painter and have been an artist kind of my whole life, but mostly doing drawing as a kid and then in high school and afterwards. And it was, and I actually followed exactly in my mom's footsteps, who's the artist before me. I did the same thing as soon as my kids kind of got a little older and started going to school, I bought some paints and canvases and just went for it. Taught myself how to paint. My first paintings were, and I've found that this is unusual, were 4 by 6 feet, 4 by 4 feet, kind of the giant canvases, which for me was like, well, yeah, why not start big? Anyways, apparently that's not normal. Yeah, and I just dove in. I went from photorealistic drawing to painting in full color. And I was a bit shocked by what came out of me as I found my style and my voice, which I didn't even know those words before until recently. my work came out a certain way that was quite distinct, very bold and unique, and actually hated it for years. And I wanted to paint like some other artists' work I had seen before that I really loved. And I actually spent about 2 years trying to teach myself someone else's style, and then finally gave up and embraced what was already in me. And as soon as I did that, I kind of launched and won gallery representation and started selling to the public, and kind of everything took off for me once I surrendered to that innate ability. And yeah, and it's been quite the journey. Part of my story that will lead into Mastrius is that I'm a really deep feeling sensitive person, and I think a lot of artists are. And my experience as a developing artist early on was really positive at first. I was in a great neighborhood that was very artsy and very supportive and helped me to launch. But then when I kind of expanded beyond my community, I got a taste of the competitive nature of our industry, and I got burned a few times by just a little bit of nastiness that sometimes can happen because we do a lot of comparisons, right? And we feel like we've got the same client base, that we're in competition with each other. Anyway, so I got burned a bit, and I decided, well, I'm in the perfect industry because I can do this all on my own. And so I just hunkered down in my studio and got to work, built a career, did quite well, and got completely stuck. And then I had this one very clarifying moment. I was at my favorite art supply store, and in the little foyer there was a flyer for a workshop, and the painting on the flyer was so stunning. I immediately stopped in my tracks, and the first thought was, I must learn from this artist. I'm missing something. I had this sudden realization that there was something, there was a lot I didn't know that I had been completely unaware of. So I discovered the gaps in my knowledge that I had not been aware of previously. And that was kind of a really aha, sort of depressing moment. We're like, oh my gosh.
We all have them.
I have so much to learn because my artwork does not look like this. And so in that moment, I literally dropped what was in my hands, and I texted a friend, another artist, and I said, hey, there's this workshop in this other city. Will you come with me? I was basically too scared to go on my own. I'd never gone to a workshop. Had never learned from another artist. I didn't even learn from my own mother. And so she said yes. And so I right away bought my spot in the workshop, hundreds of dollars, and then I had to drive hundreds of kilometers or miles if you're in the US, and then be in a room full of complete strangers, 25 artists I'd never met, with this instructor who was a master artist, one of the biggest names in Canada. I'm from Western Canada. And it changed absolutely everything. I not only learned his technique, his name is David Langevin. He paints like the old masters, but in a really contemporary way. So glazes and veils. I learned that, which turned my painting world upside down in so many beautiful ways. But I made a deal with myself. If I was going to go to this workshop and go so far out of my comfort zone and push myself so hard, that I said, Julie, you have to have a personal conversation with him. You have to show him your website. You have to show him where you're at. And so I did. I'm still shocked that I did, because I was so shy. And he looked at my work. He saw that I was already, a professional, basically, and really given her. And he said, Julie, I want to help you get as far as you want to go in your career. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. I want you to reach out if you have a question, concern, anything. I want to help you get there. And I was just blown away. I mean, that doesn't happen when you go to a workshop. So
not that structured.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's in some cases, there are people who go that want that to happen.
Yes.
And spend the whole workshop doing that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had people in our workshops like that. But
That's
to
right.
actually make that connection. I mean, David saw something in you that he hadn't seen in
Yes.
others.
Yeah.
And made that connection with you, which is a great compliment to your work.
Right. Thank you. And I didn't know that. And I've asked him since, because he then became my mentor, right? And I did call him and I did email him when I got stuck. And even just knowing that he was there made a huge difference in my confidence, right? Just knowing that he backed me. And he even dropped my name apparently at a few of his amazing galleries, and I'm in one currently that I had on my like 20-year list that I might apply to one day. And I've been in there for about 3-4 years now. Like stuff like that, just amazing. But yeah, really a really hard won mentor. And that's where Mastrius is born out of. So 3 years ago, we launched Mastrius three years ago in September. And there's a bit of a backstory. It was my husband's idea. He wanted to, and he did, we started a company called Leveling Up that was leadership training for corporate leaders. And I was helping with the marketing and a little bit on the side. And we had this mentorship model that was really beautiful, that was really impacting people more than we expected. And then COVID, enter COVID,
Yeah.
and everything dried up. We lost all of our customers. We weren't growing that fast anyways. It's a really busy industry, but everything just dried right up. But all the while I had been thinking, oh, this model would work so well for artists if we put a master artist at the helm and then as the coach, in a small group. And so finally, like, God kicked me in the pants and said, say something. So I said, hey, Mike, I have this idea. What if we tried this in my industry? So we pivoted. We moved from Mike's industry to my industry, and we launched with my network across Canada and my mentor, David. And we took off like a rocket. It was immediate success. We couldn't get mentors fast enough. Because we had David, I could easily connect with the other best artists in Canada. And so our roster was amazing right from the start and continues to be. Welcome, Linda, as a master.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, within a few months we spilled into the States. It's all online, like we use Zoom, so you can do it from your studio. You can work with the best artists in the world from the comfort of your little hobbit hole, like I like to call mine. Yeah, and now we're in 34 countries and growing steady. So it's been a rocket ride, an exciting journey, one that I was really resisting because I knew if we pivoted to my industry, I'd have to lead it, in some way. And if you knew me a few years ago, you'd be like, there's no way Julie would do it. But here we are. And it's been the most life-giving experience ever. I'm just so amazed by it. It's been so beautiful.
Yeah. And you could tell, I sat in on a panel discussion last night that was free. You didn't have to be a quote unquote member or in a mentoring group or anything like that to listen to this. And we'll get into that discussion a little bit later. But, you could tell the folks that are involved in this, whether they're mentors or in Julie's case, a foot in everything. She's mentoring and being mentored, as well as running a company, as well as being a mom. as well as trying to paint her own paintings at this point and keep her galleries happy. So, I'm going to ask her in a little bit, not right now, but think about how you're doing all this, Julie, because I didn't even know you were a mom at this point, and now you're telling me you're a mom too, and I'm like, oh my God, how's this girl getting anything done? But, in 3 years, just to give you guys an idea, they've got 4,700 artists served. The dollars that they put back into the pockets of artists is very impressive. 1.3 million Okay, so not only is Julie living her dream and making this happen, she's making it happen for a lot of people. Just everything to date. They brought me on, they're bringing me on as a master artist. They didn't blink when I said I had knee surgery coming up, because I will get up to my studio step by step on my rear end if I have to to do this, because it's just something that I really believe in, and just I'm blown away with everything that you've accomplished in the 3 years. And listening to Cameron and Lori last night, about their journey and how they're involved. Tell us a little bit about, to me, when I was listening to the panel discussion last night, it really came and hit me while I was reading the chat messages that were going on, people asking questions and talking about their experience as well. It really hit me as, this is a place where you can find your tribe, and you may not hit it the first time, but that doesn't mean that you should give up, because Julie and Mike really do put a lot into this and make it very personal. So they'll help you find that right mentor if you happen to not find it initially. There's also helpful ways on the website that you can drill down and find out and really narrow down your mentors, because I don't know how many you have, but I know it's at least over, 75, 100?
Yeah, we have about 180.
180. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but there's a way you can drill down to find what it is that you're interested in. They have all different disciplines. They have, you have technical mentors who focus on, technical techniques or whatever of painting, people who are more interested in finding voice and style. You have business mentors that focus on just the business side of your art. So talk to us a little bit before I give everything away. Talk to us a little bit about finding your tribe in Mastrius.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just say Mastrius, if you want to remember the name, think of mastery and us. So these are the two kind of foundations of our company, of our community, is that we're pursuing mastery together. Mastery us. Anyway, yeah, so Mastrius is a community. It's a really, so because of my experience as an artist, when we saw the success and we realized, okay, we're actually going to build this thing, I said, okay, if we're going to do this, Mastrius has to be a non-competitive community, period. Absolutely, we have to build it non-competitive and obviously supportive and goals focused, which is where our mentors come in. So yeah, you get mentored at Mastrius, but you're going to experience it in a small group. So you choose the mentor you want to work with, and these are the best master artists from around the globe. We also have some professional level artists like myself who are mentoring as well, but they're mostly masters. And then you choose, and then we put you in a group of artists who are at the same stage as you, whether that's aspiring, emerging, or accomplished. And we have definitions of what those mean at Mastrius on the website so that you can kind of figure out where you're at. The reason why we do that is because lots of reasons, actually. Being an artist is a really solo journey, right? We call ourselves solopreneurs. And we like it that way. But as humans, we're designed to need connection and to thrive when we find it, and that it needs to be safe. And so in order to provide that safe space for artists to grow, we want all the artists at the same stage so that they're finding a lot of shared experience, that they are not doing the comparison game. If you put an accomplished artist in a group with an aspiring artist, that might be a struggle. And also, it also simplifies the role for the mentor, that they're mentoring a unified group. Yeah, and so we max out that group at 8 artists. Also in the group is a navigator who is an artist there for mentorship too, but they're also an assistant to the mentor and a community builder for the small group. So our mentorship sessions only happen once a month. We've designed it for the busy lives everyone leads. And And then, so you'll just meet with your mentor and your group once a month. And then you're going to meet with your group mid-month, once a month, just for a 1 hour casual get together without the mentor, because we're trying to help you connect, find trust and safety within that small group. So the more time you spend together, the faster that happens, the sooner you bond, the sooner your life lights up, because you'll find your best friends. It's incredible. And then the safer you feel in that group. And so the richer the experience of mentorship becomes, because you can ask, you feel comfortable asking the questions you've been too embarrassed to ask, or sharing your failures, not just your successes. It's like a life group. And we encourage that the group session starts with some sharing about, what are you celebrating this month, and what are you not celebrating? Because let's be honest, we don't want to just talk about the good stuff. It's hard being an artist. And so we connect on a real honest and authentic level. And then the mentorship impact is just so much richer. Yeah, and then it's this monthly cycle where you're meeting with your mentor and group. Your mentor is going to give you some sort of homework or practice suggestions for the month. And then you have the whole month to put into practice what you've been learning. So the way I like to describe it is, every artist kind of knows the workshop model, but mentorship is a little bit more intangible. So I would simply say that if you take the workshop model and you break it down into much smaller teaching pieces, add a whole lot of time for feedback and a full month to practice, then you come back and you get feedback on the work that you did, and then the next piece of teaching, and then you have the whole month to put into practice, come back for feedback, teaching, practice. And so we slow down the teaching, but it really accelerates the growth, because you have time to incorporate what you're learning with the help of the master, helping you to apply it to your style, in your voice, with the subject matter you're passionate about. It's not just this dump of knowledge, it's an application of what these masters know and how they can help you reach your goals. Not paint like them. We want you to paint like you. We want you to find your voice, find your style, find your joy, your passion, and be living the fullest life as a creator. Yeah.
And I think that's a great summary. I've yet to experience my first mentor program, so I can't talk in that. But the two ladies that were part of the Power of Mentorship, which you say you do a monthly panel, where
we do these events every week. So every week we'll have either a panel discussion or a demo or critiques or interview, but we tackle the topic of mentorship every few months or so. And the one from last night will be on it's probably already on our YouTube channel, and it's free to watch. So check it out at mastrius.official on YouTube.
Yeah, the power of mentorship is really, I mean, it makes a difference. It has to. We can stay in our little silos, which the art world is siloed enough to begin with, and then putting yourself in a silo. I mean, every time I get on a different social media platform, the artists that I end up running into are creating something totally different than what I expected to be there. So I know I've been living in my own little silo of impressionism. And then there's all of this other art that is out there, the contemporary, the kind of pop art, there's people that are still doing the Renaissance, classical painting and drawing. So, it is all across all these different disciplines, but it really is interesting, because we do get into our silos. And I look at Mastrius and I look at the mentors that are out there, which you can find out on their website, and then go through and see all of the 180 masters that are there. And it's like, okay, if I want to become more abstract in my painting, which is somewhat of a gold mine, I can sign up and be mentored in that. And that person is going to know from information sheets you fill out and exactly what my skills are and how I fit into that group. So from that side, and the navigator helps as well with that. So, if you're looking for something where you don't, like every year I hear artists say, okay, I'm going to need $1,000 and I'm going to go study with XYZ, master artists. And I've been lucky through my experience starting out. I was mentored by Kevin McPherson. What this does with at Mastrius is to, make you have that time to invest in yourself and to grow as an artist or as a business part of the artist's world,
Mhm.
or whatever it is that you're looking for. So, thank you for offering that. It's a great find. It was a great find for me. And I thank Jean for letting me know about this. Jean Peterson actually is one of the masters out there that is going to be, has a session coming up, actually, has an open that you can sign up for now. But don't, if you don't see the master artist, let's talk a little bit about this, Julie. If you don't see the master artist that you want to study with that has an open spot, don't go, oh darn, I missed it.
Yeah.
What do they need to do?
Yeah, a couple things. So because mentorship is not a course, we don't have a set end date for the groups. The groups can stay with a mentor as long as they like. And when you come to Mastrius as an individual, like you're not locked in for 6 months or a year. You can come for a few months and go whatever you like. You're not never locked in. But once you're in with the group, what we see happen is groups usually stay with a mentor for 6 to 12, sometimes to 18 months, depending how. Sometimes they will never leave, it seems. And that's a beautiful thing. And then these groups that they form such tight bonds that when they're done with their first mentor, they actually choose a second mentor and start the process all over again because they're getting so much out of it. The group experience has become really valuable. So they usually come because we have a master artist they admire. They experience the small group and then they realize the value of all the mentors and they make this a long-term sort of thing. And they work with different mentors over the years. But if you're looking for a particular mentor, you've heard that we have Jean Peterson or Linda, and their group is full, there is always a wait list that you can add your name to. As soon as someone leaves that mentorship group, you're going to get an email right away. It's an automation, and you'll have to be the first one back to get the spot. The groups that are full stay full, and but we have don't think that the one is the only one that's going to be amazing for you. These are not just the best artists, but they're also really great people. I meet with every single one of them because, like I said, I'm a very sensitive person and I want our mentors to be, the most generous and kind people. And that's who we have. What you'll find is that you can be a portrait artist and work with a master artist who paints landscapes, and they're still going to be able to speak into what you're doing because masters usually have gone through the full gamut, starting with landscapes and then into portraiture and then into abstract. So they come with just decades and decades of experience that they really can speak into your life and your work. And we're not trying to make replicas of them, right? So they don't want to even teach you how to paint the way they do. They want to teach you how to paint the way you do.
I really like the fact that they're not standing in front of me with an easel, because when I teach, which is different than mentoring, when I teach, the student always goes, here, show me, and wants me to take their brush. And this is great because I can't take their brush. Not that I do anyway, but I can't take their brush. I just say, no, we got to find this together. But yeah, so it is nice from that standpoint. I'm not teaching you how to paint like me. I'm teaching you how to paint like you.
Yeah. Yeah, using all of your expertise and knowledge and wisdom, it's incredible. But yeah, don't give up. So if and then what, we help a lot of artists to find that mentor. So you can call us. You can chat with us on the website. There's a little chat bubble that goes directly to our team. We have a team of artists. This is built by artists. So if you want help finding a good match, it's artists who are going to be helping you make that match. And then once you choose a mentor and you go in the group, you're not married to them. So if after a month or two you're not feeling a good drive, then we'll help you choose another one, and we'll move you right over, and you can try again. That doesn't need to happen very often. It does happen once in a while, but usually people find a pretty good fit, and the navigator is there. So if the group has been meeting for a few months already, don't worry about that. Mentorship is this kind of cyclical thing. It's not like you missed ABC, and so you're not going to be able to figure out DEF, right? The mentors revisit topics all the time. Learning is very cyclical. And the navigator is going to be there to welcome you. The groups are all very kind and wonderful. We've set a really good tone at Mastrius, and you're going to be welcomed in. You actually get to watch the last month's session, so that you can do the homework and see everybody and get caught up and ready to go and dive in. And there's so much more that comes with your membership as well. But I won't get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that so shortly. But yeah, so just to, I think part of that is let's say, somebody has a group that's been going for 3 or 4 months, and we have a new person come into that group. I think this is kind of a question that came up during the mentorship. The power of mentorship was, what if I get into this group and I'm new and they're 4 months ahead of me? That really doesn't happen, and I want X amount of time with the mentor type of conversation, but is it really like one-on-one? And it's like, yes, it really is one-on-one. That's why it's a small group of people. I mean, think about 15 to 25 people in a workshop, and you have 3, 4, or 5 days with that mentor. And how could he or she possibly hit everybody in that right spot? But with a small group of 8 and meeting monthly, you can hit that spot. You can, get and you just have to ask. I mean, it's not all on the responsibility of the navigator and the mentor. It's, you have a responsibility as a mentee to come in and speak and tell us what you're looking for. And, is there something specific, or is it more just you're still kind of grasping in the air trying to figure out what that is? The mentor's there to help you figure out what that is.
Yeah, and it's really nice because there might be something that bubbles up for you in the month. Maybe you were in an art show and you didn't sell anything, and you're like, what the heck? I did all this prep. And then you can bring that to your mentor the next month. It's not like they have this set agenda or curriculum. We always ask them to hold on loosely and to go with the needs of the group. And that's the really beautiful part, is that it's just so relevant to where you are right now. And the sessions themselves are designed to allow time for that. So we tell our mentors, if the session is 2 hours long, only teach for 1 hour, leave the other hour for feedback, questions, conversation, so that we're ensuring this is not just a workshop experience. This is actually mentorship.
Yeah, some of the topics that were mentioned in the Power of Mentorship panel discussion that you had, one of them was the camaraderie that's part of the group, and that develops over time. We're not expecting everybody to come in and start, okay, you're my friend. Tell me everything. That trust has to be developed over time. But the fact is, I guess I found it somewhat surprising was that I think the feeling is that happens quicker than most people expect. And I think it's because of the commonality of all of our art journeys. I mean, I've sat in this chair, this is our 13th year, and heard from even the master artists about how hard it was to start their journeys. And so the smaller group, I think, is a really good thing. You have to be in a position of wanting to learn and wanting to hear and wanting to listen. And I think that came through a lot. Don't know where I was going with that, Julie. So
well, it brings up a good point that the mentorship is unique to the mentor too. And what we do actually to address that is we want our mentors mentoring in areas not that they're just expert in, but that they're passionate about, because we want them to love mentorship. And so what you'll see on the website when you click on a mentor on the grid, it'll bring you to a page all about that mentor so that you can really dive in and learn about them. And on there, you'll see their expertise, and I can share my screen if you want. And we have the mentors choose their own expertise so that when you come to learn about them.
I know that for the audio group that you're not going to be able to actually see this, but if you go out to Mastrius, MASTRIUS.com, and then you'll find a choose your master artist page that you can go to. And then Julie, go ahead and share. You should be able to share your screen.
All right. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, exactly what Linda said there. There is actually a start here page you'll see in the menu. Definitely start there where you can learn more about the model and whatnot, and then go to mentorship. In the drop down, you'll see choose your mentor. So this will bring you to our big, beautiful grid with all of our mentors. And actually first, what you'll see is our stages. So beginner, aspiring, emerging, and accomplished artists. Just click on the little plus sign and the definition for that stage will pop open. And then you can read and kind of figure out where you are in your journey based on our terms. And if you're not sure, you can take a quiz, and that will actually send us an email too if you want, so we can help you. But further down is the big, beautiful grid, and all of our mentors are represented here. The way to narrow it down and to find that good match is twofold. So if you are looking for someone specific, like Linda, you can just pop her name in here and she'll be pulled up. Or you can use the purple filter on the left, the little purple box, and click that open. And then you can narrow it down further with these selections. So you can choose to work with a master or a professional artist mentor. And you can see the price difference. The higher prices for accomplished artists, the sessions are 3 hours instead of 2. And you get a whole bunch more for that money, not just the mentorship sessions, which I can speak to, but let's say you choose mentor. Then you choose your stage. And then you can choose your medium. And if you're an accomplished artist, the medium probably won't be that important because you're not going to be looking for much technical support. If you're looking for specific specialties, an area that you want to hone in on, maybe it's color or finding your artistic style or voice, you can pull it out here. And if you're looking for a little bit of everything, there is a generalist one, and our mentors have these options as well. So they'll pull the right mentor depending what you click. And if you have limited time, etc., you can put it in style, subject matter, and it continues. But basically, it really narrows things down. And then you're left with an image of the mentor's work, their name, their medium, and then you just click through to see their page. And I do see Jean on here, but why don't we take a look at Linda's page? So I'm just going to X these off.
Is it up yet, Julie?
It sure is. I checked on it. Yeah. Yeah, so I just popped Linda's name into the search, and there we've got a Linda and a Belinda. So there's Linda. I just click on the image, and then you'll end up at the mentors page. We really want you to feel like you know who you're going to be mentored by. So there's lots of information here. We'll have their artist statement or their statement about mentorship at the top. You can check out their website, social media, and then images of their work, of course. And then those expertise that I mentioned before. So every mentor chooses these for themselves. There are 3 categories: technical, marketing, and business. And then they can choose specialties within those expertise that they choose. So this is where you're going to find a good match with your mentor. You'll have certain goals and needs that you're coming with. And you want to see those on the mentors page. So if you're coming for business advice, this wouldn't be a good fit. If you're coming for technical and marketing, then Linda would be a good fit. Kind of gives you an idea what they're all about. And then there will be their group information next. So you'll see the monthly rhythm. It repeats on the same day of the same week of each month. This will show up in your time zone. So this will change depending where you are accessing the computer from. You can choose a time zone if for any reason, if you need to change that. And then that her group is for aspiring artists. So if you're aspiring and this works for you, you can add it to your cart. When you register, we actually send you a profile form too, so that you can share your goals, your learning needs, a little bit about yourself. And your mentor is going to get those before they even meet you, so that they can feel like they've met you and that you've skipped some time then, right, meeting each other. And then they can make sure that they're going to be helping you reach your goals, not just teaching. And then there's a little bit more about the mentor. And that's it for the page. There's a lot of other perks that come with your membership, and I'll just quickly go over those. We do weekly live events together, and those are included. And if you can't come to the live event, you can watch the recording. We have a few that are free for the public as well. And then our other events that are for our members, the public can also pay to come to these. These highlight our mentors. We talk about really important topics, like last night was the power of mentorship. We do 1 hour live critiques together, 2 hour demos. Every week it's something new and awesome. And then there's also, you get a discount on courses, you get 20% off art supplies. We do art shows as a community together. So there's lots of perks being part of the community. And actually, if you're not quite ready for mentorship, you can be a member for free just by getting the free trial of the base membership. And that will get you into all of our weekly events. It'll get you into our chat platform, which is super cool. Every member, even if you're a free member with the trial, will get you a My Studio space, which is an online digital studio. If you're in mentorship, you'll see your groups here, the session link, when the next session is. All of your session recordings for mentorship are logged in here like a library. You get a chat group with your group as well. And this is where, let me try that again. This is where you can connect with your group throughout the month, your mentor and your group. It's really lovely to be in contact throughout the month. There's other stuff in here. You can log your goals and homework. You can upload your artwork and progress stuff. This is fun because you can actually, when you sell something, it will fill in your art sales chart, like lots of tools to help you kind of get going if you want to make a living doing this. Even if you have progress shots of your work. I had this painting critiqued by my mentor, and so I just logged in everything she had said about it and what my group said as well, because it was really encouraging and I wanted to remember it. Yeah, so there's lots of cool stuff in here.
Yeah, and that's a new feature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is brand new. Mastrius Chat is the chat platform where you'll see all the groups you're involved in. And we have some extra stuff on the side, etc. And then we added My Studio recently. Yeah, as another perk for our members. There's lots of perks.
There is. It's a really great website. Definitely go out and look at it. And if you have any questions, be sure there's actually a little chat thing that comes up and says, how can I help you type of thing. So you can go that way through it, or drop Julie at mastrius.com, and drop her a question and she'll get it to the right person. I know there's Ginger's involved with the mentors. Is it Anae that is the navigator?
Yeah, she's the lead navigator. So she's the one who's going to choose, helps choose navigators for the mentors. Yeah, and so you get the navigator too. Like the navigator is there to help make sure that you're getting the experience that you want and your needs are being met, and making sure you're feeling enfolded into the group and that sort of thing. Yeah, they're a really fantastic group as well. And then once you're a member for a few months, you can actually apply to be a navigator, which means you get to choose to work with masters even more closely as their assistant. You get the mentorship group for free. That's part of your compensation, and we pay you on top of that.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's other perks. Like we have mentors who are navigating for other mentors. Like it's really open. We have masters that are getting mentored by other masters. We have accomplished artists becoming mentors at Mastrius. Like the whole journey is represented here, and it's all about connection and actually getting money back into the pockets of artists, which is why we put that boldly on our homepage.
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I've been very, very impressed. So far up to date. Love my page. Thank you.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, so that was new, for me anyway. So let's talk a little bit about what's up for Julie in 2024, your art career, okay, and then also what's coming up for Mastrius as well. I know you just did a pitch in Alberta, right? For startups?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk
that's
a little bit
right.
about that too. So start with your art career first, though.
Okay. All right. So, for my art work, thanks to mentorship at Masters, because I also am getting mentored and have been for the 3 years that we've been going. It has totally, I could talk for another hour just on what I've learned and how it's impacted me. But I'm now painting more out of a space of joy and what is authentically coming out of me. Before I was I'm a gallery artist and it was a business for me. So I painted what I thought would sell.
Yeah.
But that kind of sucked the life out of me and took all the fun out of it. So I'm in a reset right now after 14 years where I've actually, I'm cutting down my galleries. I'm down to one. And I'm not doing commissions anymore because I'm just taking the time to kind of find myself again. And my mentors have been, I've had a mentor that helped me get unstuck. Technically, I was stuck with my style and had no idea where to go, and I was so bored. He helped get me unstuck. I had another mentor help me find my voice, artistic voice, something I didn't even know existed until Mastrius, because I had a very narrow view of what it meant to be an artist. So now that I know what my voice is, which I'm so excited about, and it's really deeply rooted like in my childhood and all this stuff, which I didn't know. And once you know that, you're like, oh my God, this is so great. I want to really pursue it intentionally. And then I've had another my current mentor who's getting me helping with my courage, like to be able to actually let galleries go and to say no and to drop the expectation that is on my shoulders with people wanting my work a certain way. And so I feel like I'm a kid again, like I'm starting from scratch. And it's so good. So I'm slowing down that piece of it where I'm spending more time just playing and painting what kind of wells up in me and learning how to listen to that voice and how to follow it and how to silence the other one that says, well, would anyone buy this? But Julie, would anyone buy this? Right? So yeah, and Mastrius is full time for me. I was in the last 2 years, I used to say I had 2 full-time jobs because I was literally trying to pursue both fully, and that was killing me.
So you're a parent too.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, fortunately, my kids are young adults now, and so they're kind of launching, and they're all doing well, and 2 of them have moved out. So we have 1 left at home and we hardly ever see him. So that's really, it takes a load off. So Mastrius is my full-time passion. I feel so fortunate and blessed to be building this, and our team is incredible. And yeah, our community is incredible. And then the art, I'm doing more part-time. So I do have 2 half studio days each week, and then on the weekends as well. And I try to guard those and protect them really well. So because it's really easy to let work seep into everything. So I still have my 1 gallery, kind of my best gallery, and they've given me a long leash. They said, Julie, keep doing what you're doing at Masters. We love it. And then just send us what you can when you can. So that's been really, really freeing.
Have you, just before you go on, I just popped in my head, and you may not have any way to statistically talk about this, but has the artists that have invested in themselves and in Mastrius, I'm sure they're being successful because they have that great support group behind them. But is it almost like, you know, if a gallery sees Mastrius on the CV or something, is it like an automatic, well, this is somebody who really does invest in themselves, and it just puts them on a whole nother plane?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We encourage artists to add it to their CV, and I have it on my CV because how often can artists say, "Oh, I've been mentored by 5 of the best artists in the world."
Yeah.
Like that's definitely something to brag about and put on your CV. And I hope one day that galleries will recognize, oh, Mastrius artist. I think we will get there for sure.
Nice.
Um,
In the
yeah.
interim, you have your own art shows on the website.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, our mentors are helping artists get into galleries all the time too. And even our mentors say that they're making more money since they joined Mastrius because of all the promotion that we do, and because they're learning stuff too. They come to the events and demos, and we're all learning from each other. But yeah, like what you heard in the panel last night, one of our mentors, Lori deBoer, started as a member when we launched 3 years ago. And she shared that the business mentorship that she received within a few months launched her business so fast. She, like, her head was spinning. She was just not ready for it. And now she has come back to Masters to mentor. It's so awesome.
Yeah,
But yeah, so it
you
definitely
can't help but smile for her. She was so energetic about it, and she has a full-time job outside of her artist full-time job.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, you know, it's like, okay, I need to quit complaining. This lady's got it down, you know. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. So from that standpoint, for me, it was that way, not for others.
Yeah,
But
and we hear that all the time too. We see artists get discovered. Basically, they come to Masteries, they get connected with the right mentor who helps them in the right way, and boof, there they go. It's like, oh, there goes another one. Yay.
yeah, and it is really, it's very exciting and very, very supportive in that as well. And you know, the ones that are still struggling naturally are getting supported as well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, then the future for Mastrius, you asked. Yeah, so we have big plans. I always hesitate to share them, they're so big. So the art industry obviously is where my heart is. And we're excited to continue growing in fine art. Like we have live and online courses, we have art shows, so we're doing a lot. People are saying Mastery is kind of a one-stop shop. You can kind of get everything you need here. You can even do the art shows and everything. But our plans are bigger because what we have is so good, and we hear words like life-changing. I found my people are even having like a really deeply spiritual experience, even though this isn't church. So it's obviously meeting some really deep needs, and it's helping artists to really be artists in the deepest sense. Anyway, so what we have is so good that we want to share it with many industries. So we are our plan is to bring Mastrius to other creative industries like photography, acting, culinary arts, fashion design. We're actually launching into songwriting in the new year with a really big name out of LA. And songwriting is it's painting but with words, right? And yeah, very similar. Mentorship is really effective in that industry, and you can make it a business if you have the right coaching. So we will be launching with that individual. He has a community of about 13,000 songwriters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that should go pretty well. And he knows a bunch who will be mentors with us. Yeah, and then yeah, we're launching into other languages as well, so that artists can be mentored in by Spanish speaking mentors. We're going to have translation and all of that automated in French and Spanish, and then we'll tackle other languages down the road. Yeah, and then we're just going to go from industry to industry and spread this good thing that we have. We don't want to be exclusive in any way. We really want the world to, it sounds so corny, but we do want to change the world. The world could use some changing. You know, we're in a bit of a mess. What we need is getting people back into trusted relationship with each other and doing what they were made to do. And when you give people that ability to find that safety and that joy, like that's a world changing thing that changes one life to many very easily and quickly.
That's right. If we can start looking at beauty,
Yeah,
love, and getting
yeah,
that back in the world, it's
yeah,
time for that. Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah,
And like I know I said, it kind of is like church. It's not like in church and preachy church.
yeah,
It's not like that at all. But it's the community feel of it
yeah.
that I was referring to. So
Yeah, and the vulnerability too, right? Like, for the first 10 years of being an artist, I thought being an artist meant you were painting pretty things to hang on the wall. That's all I knew. And now my mind is opened wide that, oh my goodness, there's way more purpose to this creative business than what I even realized.
Right.
Not only for what I'm doing for other people who will own my artwork, but what it's doing for me and the healing and the growth. It is profound.
Yeah. Great job, Julie. Thank you so much for joining us and talking us through your art journey and Mastrius and all that is involved in that. We appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming by and talking with us. So thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thanks for having me. Thank you for joining our community as a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to get me through this knee surgery, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And you know, just last thing there, mentors are finding community at Mastrius too. We have, you know, life can be hard, and we've had mentors go through some really hard stuff where they've lost in like children. And we say, okay, we'll get your group covered. Don't worry, just do what you need to do. And they say, no, I need my group. Please don't get a substitute. I need my group.
Yeah. We'll find a way.
Yeah, it's beautiful, the connection. Yeah. So anyways, welcome to the community, Linda. We're so
Thank
glad
you.
to have you.
Thank you.
And to the rest of you listening, there's a seat at the table for you as well. We'd love to have you.
Okay. All right, everyone. So again, check out Mastrius, mastrius.com. They're on Instagram as well. You want to do the handle?
Yeah, mastrius.official and mastrius.community. And then on YouTube, it's also mastrius.official. We just started a Pinterest page too. YouTube, there's a ton of free videos from our mentors. So go check them out. It's a great way to pick a mentor as well. And you can see the panel from last night about mentorship. There's a ton of goodies on there, so go binge.
Yeah, there is. So, all right, everybody, thanks for listening, and stay in touch. Talk with you later. Bye.
Bye.
Art Chat is made possible by the support of the Artistics Harmonies Association. Create your next aha experience with us.